Welcome to Startup to Sold, a small business vlog providing insights into a day in the life. From entrepreneurship, how to start a business, to business motivation, this startup vlog shows it all. Thanks for watching. I called it and headed over to the old warehouse. Tomorrow is December 31st, and I'm pretty sure the landlord's closed, so I need to get the keys turned in today. I had about 99% of everything out already, but anyone who's ever moved knows that last 1% is always the part that drags on. I made full use of the dumpsters they have on the property and loaded my car with whatever was left so I could swing it by the storage unit on the way back. I cleared out the trash, swept the floors, and honestly the place looked about the same as the day I got it a few months ago. And here's the thing about commercial landlords. They charge for stuff that residential landlords can't even dream of charging for. If an AC unit dies in a warehouse, the tenant basically has to buy the landlord a brand new one. If it dies in an apartment, the landlord has to fix it. The whole thing is ridiculous, but that's the game. After years of dealing with leases, I always walk the building once everything is cleared. I get a video of every room and then archive it. If there's ever a dispute later, at least I have something to fall back on. But here, only 3 months and barely using the space, I can't imagine they'll find anything to hit me with. Still, I'm not taking any chances. Overall, it looks good. I'm going to drop off the keys, swing by the storage unit, and then hopefully get back to the office. If I'm lucky, I might squeeze in a few more hours of work before the day's over. Fast forward to January 30th, 2025, I still hadn't received my $3,000 security deposit back. I emailed the landlord's representative and asked what was going on. She replied and said she was waiting on a repair quote for a broken door frame and for replacing lights. That immediately raised a flag for me because I returned the unit in the same condition as I received it. I replied and said exactly that. The unit was returned as delivered. She then sent me a photo of the door from the office into the warehouse. In the picture, the paint was peeled all around the door jamb, and when I saw it, I knew immediately. That is exactly how it looked when they handed me the unit. When I first toured the space, it looked like a bad paint job. The paint had peeled, probably from poor prep or age. Now they weren't just trying to charge me for peeling paint, they were talking about replacing an entire door jamb. At that point, the video I took when I moved out wouldn't help me. But here's where it mattered, that I also had a video from when I toured the warehouse and from when I moved in. I didn't have a perfect straight-on shot of the door jamb from August, but what I did have clearly showed the damage existed before I signed the lease. Even better, the video had my phone's date stamp on it and also showed the commercial realtor walking through the space and pointing things out. That's not something they could argue with. Once she saw that, she agreed to drop the door jamb and paint issue. Apparently, they were planning to charge me for replacing the door jamb and repainting the wall. That would have not been cheap, but she didn't let it all go. She came back and said there were light bulbs out that needed to be replaced. Fluorescent bulbs in the warehouse. Those bulbs generally last for years. I barely worked in that warehouse. The lights weren't on much at all. For all I know, those bulbs were already out when I leased the space, but I couldn't prove it. So I got stuck paying for them. That's how a lot of commercial property management works. Landlords don't pay for things if they can avoid it. They push costs to tenants even when it's normal wear and tear and something like that pre-existed, especially when it's hard for the tenant to prove otherwise. In my case, I got out of it for about $50. That's annoying, but it could have been a lot worse. Without that move-in video, they could have billed me for a door jamb replacement and repainting the wall. That could have easily been hundreds of dollars for something I didn't damage, and something that may have even been charged to the prior tenant and never fixed. You never really know. The lesson here is simple. If you're leasing an office or warehouse, video everything before you move in. Not just photos, walk the space. Sweep wide areas. A video like that is worth 1,000 still photos. And when you're negotiating the lease, push for things like new light fixtures or at least a warranty on them for the full term of the lease. In warehouses, those lights can be 30 feet up and expensive to replace. Same goes for AC units, swamp coolers, plumbing, and other big ticket items. Commercial leases are full of unknowns, and more often than not, the tenant ends up footing the bill. In my case, the video saved me from getting shaken down for a lot more than $50, and that's exactly why I'm always documenting everything. Landscapers are close by. This is where we had a leak. They said, oh, it wasn't because of this. An animal chewed through it. And then a landscaper's gonna come. Told them they have to bury the hoses. They ignored me. Just pooled right there, flooded in. I've alerted the landlord that the grading needs to be fixed because we had to pay for the flood for their drip system. For the offsite, the revenues continue to go down. They're not doing sales efforts and going after storage. I've built the CRM forum, populated with almost 600 contacts in there. They're not calling on the current customer base to get transactions. There's dealer business. They're just relying on that. And that's just not a sound model, even with Canon going or whatever. That wasn't how offsite was built. They got reliant on it. Oh, the dealer business is going down. They're not using us for deliveries. Like, well, we were doing storage and we were doing other parts of the business. So there's still medical and everything there. But They just took their foot off the gas on any of the sales and marketing efforts on it. Another part is the storage, where again, the CRM, that's what I'm trying to say is, hey man, you get out there and do the storage, you're going to pick up 25 months of storage plus pickup plus return shipping, and you get the check all at once. And so very profitable. And it gets the money in the door fast. And I can't get that through to Nate. So I sent the drafts of the letters and everything. I've got the copier Sage done. It's really good. It's built in with a lot of storage stuff and referring to offsite and bringing business in that way too, which I think can help. But they got to get it out there. And that's what, I'd say you could lead in your email marketing campaign to the salespeople with that. And hey, we do storage and stuff like that too. But then they're supposed to remit our receivables monthly to us as collected. That's not been happening. So he's basically utilizing my money to short-term finance or carry this up. I don't know how. I put a lot of money into it. I'm kind of running out of ideas for him, but one thing today I'm going to work on is there's a Xerox RFP. And so it really hit me too, is like, if I can get this Xerox deal done, but the bid isn't awarded till April. And, we're January 30th today. I'm going to just work on that thing and make sure it's perfect. I'm going to go above and beyond. And I had a video I sent Canon back in July last year, touring the facility. I'm going to build that out, put together a whole bunch of different things in there in terms of videos, narratives, showing the different facilities, the capabilities, the software solutions, basically the whole thing, aggressively price it and send it out there. Hopefully that does it. There's still be more steps to it, phone calls and tours, but that at least getting there and getting those boxes checked, because RFPs keep scores. So if I can check, okay, got this one, so I got to imagine what are the scores they're going to be carrying and how can I maximize the score in each one, so that when they go to do their tally at the end, they go, oh, well, offsite was the top. I get that done, it solves all the problems. Should unlock and be able to get the rest of the money out of the company and not have it go under, because that's the other part. I don't know, is it going to go under? What's left on the PGs for me that are out there? I'm off the business, but I think Ontario, maybe that rent, did I sign a PG? I don't remember. He defaults on the rent, $17,000 a month. Granted, you'll get someone to lease it out again. Same thing, Sacramento, Phoenix. I think the Phoenix one expires in May. I don't think they're doing anything right now. So he thought he could just take the business and it would just run itself, and he keeps all his businesses separate. I work different. I think he's got to get in there, and I got businesses, and I try to see how they can all work together and put the puzzle pieces together and create a synergy, so then they can all lift each other up. And he's just isolated silos and doesn't want to be involved and doesn't do anything for the sales effort. I got to get this over the hump so I can get my money. So this could be my final, okay, look, I got you Xerox. Let's get this done and go. Bye. So Xerox today, Xerox RFP. Here's the reminder note. I'm going to take a Neuro. I only have calm. I think I got the gum too. Maybe I need the gum today. I don't know.
This business blog documents my journey on how to start a business, how to start a software company, and start up businesses from zero. If you're searching for startup tips, business ideas, or how to start a business, start a software business, and how to run a business effectively, as well as different startup business ideas, subscribe for new videos every week.